Hello, everyone.
So,
Uh-oh.
Hi,
Captain,
everyone. Are you able to see our screen?
yes.
Beautiful.
So our small group tonight, we went over the group agreements earlier in our presentation, but we just want to just remind everyone to be open to new ideas. Don't charge it to the heart or to the mind. Participate. Please share your ideas on this very important topic. And we want to get right into the questions because I don't want to belabor you. So our small group discussion tonight is based on what South San Francisco is legally allowed to do. What should the board's roles and responsibilities be? And the second question is what responsibility should the advisory board have to the community? And last, what additional considerations do you recommend for the membership composition, if any? So we're going to go to the next slide and we'll take each question um, individually. Go ahead, Nayeli. Did you have a question?
No,
Oh, okay.
I think no problem, Sharon. I'll be typing, but just since you gave me the mic for a second, I'll just say that I will be taking some notes, high level takeaways, and we'll share those back in the big group.
And
So
my apologies, I can't see which commissioners are in the room with me today.
we have Commissioner Bobby Vaughn,
Mhm.
Commissioner Edith Arias,
Mhm.
and Commissioner Jeff Azopardi.
Welcome, commissioners. So we can.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sharon, and I think I also see Commissioner Andrea Fernandez.
Andrea Fernandez. All right. So my apologies, I can't see your faces to call on you, but I'll start with Commissioner Bobby Vaughn. If you can answer the first question. What should the board's roles and responsibilities be?
well, I think there's, the bulleted list
Mhm.
kind of summarizes so much of the kind of important stuff that I think we all sort of want
Mhm.
to see such a commission do. I think for me, um, I get going back to this loop of communication being so central,
Okay.
where the community can get good information from law enforcement, where the law enforcement can hear straight from the community about what's going on. I think that's that's a very high level takeaway for me. Um, at the same time, I was very much intrigued um, by our guest from National City, um, who was talking about the sort of more hands-on approach that they have to kind of the investigative materials,
Mhm.
how their commissions are actually allowed to see more than maybe Sky might, advise that our commission, have eyes into. I don't know. So that intrigued me a little bit in terms of the oversight bit.
Okay. And can I pass it on?
Yes.
Okay. And Commissioner Edith Arias.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Well, I also want to add, I think one of the important key facts of the presentations was also, and I'm probably just following up with what Commissioner Bobby said, but is the open communication between being able to understand what the police department does, and also for the police department understanding what the community is coming from. What is it, the lived experiences that they're going through? I think in the exercise that we did is like, we come from diverse backgrounds, so we have experienced different situations where encounters. So when the police department opens up you know, so much into this is what we do and this is how we do it and why we do it. I think having that so open to the community, I think that communication is such a key to move on forward.
Thank you. So what I hear is that cross-cultural education and understanding of what both sides experience, right?
Exactly.
Thank you. Andrea, I'm sorry, Commissioner Andrea Fernandez.
Yeah, I think one of the roles, and I think that this is also, it kind of falls into the next question, but I see the board being a two-way kind of bridge that South City really needs for that civic engagement. I think, and I mean civic engagement in the most inclusive way possible, because I think it wasn't up until, you know, there's boards and commissions that folks can get involved with throughout the city, right? But is it really those areas that are really impacting the folks who, you know, and representing kind of those lived experiences and actually advocating for the change that they need, right? So I think that this board is a step in the right direction in terms of expanding that opportunity and really that open hand from the city to the community in a transparent and really effective way where we can see tangible change and really start to foster a new generation of civic engagement. And I think we see that enthusiasm, right, with like our youth advisory council and with Change SSF, right? There's that desire to really get involved and work together. So I think that's one way to, that's one of the responsibilities on both ends of the table.
Thank you so much. So I hear creating a bridge that also expands opportunity for civic engagement for people who would not have generally participated in these forums. Okay. And Chief, as a party, are you here?
I am here. So I think they touched everything that I feel is most important, and we all have used the word communication. I think it's very important for this board and for whoever, whether it be me or whoever's assigned to be a part of this board as far as providing kind of insight to the way that we do our policies and procedures. We need to be able to work together. We need to be able to listen to each other. This board, I don't think, will accomplish what it can if everybody isn't truly open to listen and to learn about the way that different people see things. And part of that will be, you know, my responsibility to make sure I have the right people assigned to this board for any questions that they may have. And at the same time, I'm just really hoping that the commission are people that are also open to kind of understanding the rules of what we're stuck with, and let's try to get as much as we can out of it. I see no reason why things that are brought to us, which I'm hoping will be a lot of things, that by the end of the process, that there can be some changes that the police department's comfortable with, and some changes hopefully that the commission's comfortable with. And then I think people that either talk to the commission or in the public that see what's been accomplished maybe will be a little bit more positive about this as actually being successful. One of the things that Commissioner Ron mentioned, I was also intrigued about, I didn't know this, and I read the policy, I thought, with the internal affairs investigation being open like that. That is concerning as far as names of witness officers and everything else. I'd have to talk to Sky about that, and would definitely have to talk to the association. My thought was taking this complaint or this investigation, kind of blacking out names and giving the commission kind of an overview of what the complaint was, what the evidence was, and being able to provide. So there's gonna be a lot that we're gonna have to learn about this as well and adapt to. So I'm just being completely honest that took me by surprise a little bit, but you know, we need to do whatever we can to make this successful.
Well, thank you, Commissioner Chief, as a party. I actually read that, and we had a conversation about it, but we do have to also keep in mind what type of city are they operating under, right? So is it charter or is it general law? And then again, we're going to be tasked with how do we create processes of transparency as well. But what I do hear is with this communication that there is definitely an education piece that needs to come forward, right? So that both parties understand what's going on and understand and are educated on processes and how to be effective for the change. I think what I'm hearing is that, everyone wants a positive outcomes regarding this relationship between community and law enforcement here. If we can move to the next question. I'm sorry, did I get everybody, Nayeli?
I think you did.
All
Yeah,
right.
you did, Sharon.
All right, thank you. So our next question, responsibility to the community. We've kind of touched on it, but what would you all add to that if it's not on the list?
I have one point to add to the responsibilities that the advisory board should have to the community.
Okay.
I think, in order to kind of set a common ground and kind of open up a space that I think starts with an approach where both sides of the table, right, listen to each other. I think establishing maybe a trauma-informed approach or even a trauma-based approach would really, I think, help. And this would, this would be under what the advisory board should have to the committee. Sorry.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, no worries. Just because I think it's important to acknowledge what's there, right? Like there's no erasing the trauma. There's no erasing generations of systemic oppression, right? And how that translates. And we've talked about that in previous meetings, but I think definitely starting off with a space that establishes it just from the first day, right? From the first interaction, like it has to be a very genuine and community driven space. Cause I think if we start, kind of almost too tactical. Well, I'm saying we as if I was on it, but I'm saying like just in general, right? You want to establish a space that is community oriented and it acknowledges everybody who's there and those lived experiences.
Thank you. Commissioner Edith?
I think I also would like to add, as a responsibility to the community, definitely have following from what the communication talked about is also language. So in South San Francisco, if we think about it, 1/3 of the population is Latinos. So I think the Spanish language should be also used in those, communities where the needs are and using communication between that commission and maybe promotores or people who are within the community and who have lived for a long time in the community should be important to have established between them.
Yeah, I think that is extremely
like language barriers.
Yeah, I think that's really a great thought. When we talk about communication, are we only speaking about, and I want to pose it as a question, the spoken language or the written language? Well, when you talk about dismantling the language barriers and having the conversations in Spanish, is it only the spoken word, or are you also suggesting or recommending the written word? So
I recommend exactly. No, I'm recommending both. Okay. So the situation is that if there's, it was mentioned that maybe these documents are public, the public can read them and see them. So if they're translated in Spanish, then they will understand them, right? But also the spoken communication, where sometimes you need to understand where they're coming from, what level, sometimes of education they have, so that they understand what is it that is being said. Sometimes all these acronyms and words and vocabulary that is used, even if you're saying it in Spanish, you need to also see that so that they understand what's happening.
Thank you. Commissioner Bobby? Bond?
I'm not quite sure. Is there another set of questions we're gonna be dealing with?
There's one more. Let's see.
Yeah. Oh, and I think we might be
I think we had 3 here, and I think that.
Yeah.
Is it one more question?